You've probably seen one of these comedy multiplayer horror extraction type games floating around the internet in the last year or two. People in space retrieve scraps for money. Silly guys record monsters for money. You steal valuables for money. All this money type stuff. Though I'm sure people are starting to get a bit tired of them, so it'd probably be a bad idea if I went and made one of my own. I don't care, bro. I'm gonna make one of these games anyways. I'm gonna put a goose in it. There are gonna be cool monsters. You play as Craig. People are gonna scream in the game. The enemies will scream. There's gonna be a cat. Who knows? Maybe there's gonna be...
What I do?
Hey, if you don't already know me, I'm Hunter, and I just so happen to be a professional idiot game developer. I'm not gonna spend too long introducing myself since you guys are here for the game. I'll show more of my stuff later on in the video. What is this game? Hello? This is I'm Not Scared, a multiplayer horror extraction roguelike type game where you go around extracting these little guys. You go around extracting more and more of them after each successful round. And after each round, you have to adapt to aggressive enemies, random modifiers that get applied to the game after each round. Before you guys go in the comments and say like, oh, this is just another one of those Friendslop Lethal Company clones. You're unrageable. You should cancel the game now. This isn't gonna go anywhere. Hey guys. I'm making this game because I like making it, and I'm having fun making it, and I want to get a game up on Steam, because I don't have any of those right now. Anyways, after each round, the game changes a bit. The map grows, random modifiers are applied, strange things can happen, the enemies change. Now, I can't guarantee that modifier part will be a part of the game when it's out, so I'll probably be launching the game in what is early access. I would rather launch the game a bit early to see what everyone thinks of each little thing in the game, and then tune it so everyone likes it before the final launch. So explanation of the game out of the way. Where did the game actually come from? Though, because I started experiencing a little bit of burnout, and with that, I started 4 side projects. That's right, bro. I was gonna have one of the first Lethal Company derivative type games, but something took all my time in 2024. I don't know where it went. Cough, cough, cough. The game started as a little fun project to make some procedural generation and get some Lethal Company type graphics up and going, and to practice my proximity chat programming for my other main project, Claustrophobic Nights. What's that? Just some stupid little multiplayer FNAF VR game that releases in the year 2057. Hopefully not. Hopefully a bit sooner than that. Let's go over how I made some of the first things in the game. Lethal Company has this pixelated, posterized type look. Back in 2023 when it first came out, I really liked it. And it just so happened that at that time I was working on a small side project where I was programming a little procedural generation system. So I went on the Unity Asset Store, clicked the first thing I saw, and then threw it into my project file. It looked pretty okay, but it ends up changing in the future and looking a lot better. I'm gonna sneeze. Procedural generation. At first I thought procedural generation would have been very easy to make. I don't know, it would have been that complicated. It was easy to make. Basically, the game takes the first room generated, goes through its doorways, and spawns more rooms. For those next rooms, the game goes through each doorway and tries to spawn another room at random. If that room collides with another room, the game picks another random room that doesn't collide with it, and the game does this over and over until a certain amount of rooms have been spawned. At first, this seemed perfect, but as time went on, the rooms grew bigger in complexity and physical size. Problems started to pop up. Do all rooms have to have specific dimensions to work right? Is this optimized? How long will it take to generate large maps? I'm not gonna worry about it. Foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which a storyteller gives an advanced hint of what is to come later in the story. Foreshadowing often... Player controllers were probably the easiest thing in the game to make. I plugged the controller into Craig, and look at him go! After his base movement, I made the camera shake when you go faster, made it so you can crouch, and then sync the players across clients. This game's multiplayer. Fuck, I kinda forgot about it. How am I gonna do procedural generation? Let's go back to that for like 5 seconds. The room that actually spawns at any given point is determined by its world position. Basically, I feed it into a little noise function, it gets a random value, and then it's able to spawn a random room consistently. It's kind of not random, but you get what I'm saying. It's like Minecraft seeds. It's literally Minecraft seeds. This is useful for... I can't eat this! I can't eat this! This is useful for syncing the map... This is useful for syncing the map up across clients. If a new player joins, just give them the seed and it'll generate the map. And unlike previously, there is no foreshadowing to be done here because it works pretty well actually. This game's multiplayer. You know what goes good with multiplayer? This shouldn't be too difficult. I've taught myself networking. I can probably teach myself proximity chat. What do you mean there's no documentation? I managed to find this plugin when it was so new, I couldn't find the thing telling you how to use it on the internet. By searching it on Google, you can find it through like 15 pages of Unity docs. Cool. That's, you know, I have no idea why I didn't just pick Steam's voice chat solution. Oh, that's right, I'm gonna be using this proximity chat in a completely different game, and I'm never gonna touch this one again after. Foreshadowing is a narrative I only really want to spend time learning. One proximity chat plugin, so Vivox it is. Luckily, I happen to be friends with someone who worked on SCP Secret Lab. Hey man, do you know how to use Vivox? I've been trying to find a good voice chat solution, and this is my only real option, so here is all of my voice chat code. Oh! Thank God for this guy. Go check out Decimala's Game Jolt or whatever in the description. He is very talented, very good at programming, and he has a cool little multiplayer game and SCP Secret Lab, I guess. Now, I did have to upgrade some of his code to the newer Vivox, but at least I had a base to work off of. And it looks like voice chat works now. Now I can get back to claustrophobic night, put the voice chat in the game. If you guys have known me prior to this video, you might know what Jolly 4 is. If not, and you want to know why I was gone for like all of 2024, wait for my next video. It's gonna be like an hour long or whatever. Come October of 2024, I really just wanted to finish a game and put it out there since it's been like a year and a half since Claustro started. It's been 5 years since I started working on, learning games. But all my projects are like super big projects. I want one that's gonna take a real short amount of time to finish. Now, 9 months before I returned to the game, February of 2024, the game didn't really have a plan, so I made a real quick one back in October, and I got to work. At the time, the game was gonna have 5-minute rounds where you collect loot as fast as possible, sabotage your friends in the process, and get out. I'm much happier with the current gameplay loop than what I came up with 7 months ago, because it's kind of butt cheeks. Sorry, it's 9 months ago. Holy moly. Now, of course, I can't just make the entire game off of 5-minute round get loot and get out. So what do I need to make a game? The game design pillars, a main objective for the game, a little bit of story and explanation for things in the game, a theme and a setting. All together, you gotta glue and masticate together like a little sandwich. You have a video game, most of the time. What are game design pillars? Game design pillars are the primary characteristics that make up a game. The pillars are a foundation of a game plan, if you will. For a game like Minecraft, the pillars would be something along the lines of creativity, exploration, and community. For this game, I chose roguelike, psychological, weird, world building, and exploration. Now with this, I came up with what was at the time a not so original and boring gameplay loop that I went over a few seconds ago. For the story and theme of the game, I based most of the game around the fear of the unfamiliar and incomprehensible, but this would also change drastically as development goes on. The game has items, and the game's multiplayer. How do I put those two things together? I don't know how to sync items when people pick them up, and I don't know how to... Meet Synax! He codes and other stuff, but he mostly codes. Synax, hi. Can you code for my game? Okay, I say. I'm Synax. I will code away. Thanks, Synax. Synax helped me figure out the inventory system and the items, which would later be recoded in their entirety, because we're still both new to networking. Why are we back on Procedural Generation? Oh! That's right! It runs at like 1 FPS and takes forever to generate. Time to fix it. It took me 2 weeks to fix procedural generation. Do you guys know what object pooling is? I'm not gonna bore you with the details. Object pooling is when we spawn in a shitload of assets at the start of the game, so all the lag is at the beginning, and then we can recycle those assets whenever we need to use in the game without lag. I use this when the game generates maps, allowing for minimal frame rate. I'm really good at writing YouTube videos, guys. Allowing for minimal frame rate drops and performance clips when the game starts generating large maps. Now that we have items on the map, let's make some of the enemies. This is Synax. Again, he helped code the enemies while I worked on the procedural generation stuff I just talked about. I don't want to show the enemies too I don't want to show off the enemies too much until the first trailer for the game comes out, so I'll just go over how we coded them. Entities in this game have a few base behaviors: movement, health, and their own unique behaviors. We break up the enemy behavior like this because not every enemy has health, for example, and not every enemy has movement, so we want to be able to put them together like little Lego pieces. So to account for this, Synex wrote each behavior in their own little scripts that we can slap onto a model and make work however we want. With this, we can have enemies that move and don't hurt you, enemies that hurt you and don't move, enemies that have health, enemies that don't have health, etc, etc. A few seconds ago I said with this system we're able to slap a combination of scripts onto an enemy model and call it a day. That's true, but speaking of character models, for the game to look good and the players to be able to know what's going on most of the time, I need to have art in the game. We need art in the game. For the characters, the environments, the menus. Introducing the team! Behind the character models of the game are Egu and Spurk. Character models aren't the only thing I needed though. We need environments and animation. Responsible for the rooms in the games are
Ollie,
Corrupt, Stormonix, Martin Arthur, Jade, Caleb, Josie, Spurk again, Egu again, and me. Animations for the characters come from Wop, Caleb, Fantron, Egu again, and me again. Now we have artists on the game, but what are they actually going to be making? A few minutes ago, I mentioned the theme of the game revolved around the unfamiliar. For this, I came up with what would be the two familiar and unfamiliar settings: an arcade, a Victorian house, a facility, and a mall. After the first patch of the game releases, I will be more than doubling the environments in the game. But again, this will be what... Hi guys! The space on my camera ran out. What was I last going over? Oh yeah, there will only be those 4 environments in the game on launch because I don't want development to take forever before you guys get a playable build. Anyways, I had the 11 or so artists on the game work on art, and everything was going really fast. Models and textures were being made, rooms were being made, things were being animated. A lot of stuff was done in a short period of time because the team is awesome. If you guys like what you see in this game, absolutely go check out each person I mentioned in the description below. After modeling for a few weeks, the game started to slow down a bit because I had to work on other stuff. What do you mean it's February? This game was supposed to take like a month to finish. Well, I guess it's a good thing that it got delayed since gameplay was hot butt cheeks. For all game developers out there, I want you to try to guess what's responsible for the game getting delayed. Is it A? I don't know, bro. Speaking of which, this is actually around the time where the gameplay changed up a lot. It went from running around for 5 minutes trying to get as much stuff as you can to looking for these little baby dudes, trying to bring them home safely. And so far from the playtesting, it seems like it's working really well. This is the end of the script, and it's June now, as of writing the extension to the end of the script. I got back to I'm Not Scared in late May, and a lot of stuff has gotten done. I'll try to do a devlog on the game late this month or early next month, and if everything goes to plan, the game should realistically be out in August. Now I know I've been awful with release date. Take this August time frame estimate with a grain of salt, a boulder of salt. But if scope creep doesn't get in the way of the game again, if scope creep doesn't get its grubby little hands on the game again, it should be ready by then. And for anyone wondering, Claustrophobic Nights is probably coming out in 2026. Also, this isn't super exciting or whatever, but the Steam page for the game is out now. It's in the description. Go wishlist the game. It'll be out pretty soon. Subscribe if you guys want to see more gameplay updates on the game. Fucking whatever. That's all. Bye bye, dude.